Peace and welcome to another Motor House Artist Talk. I'm your host, Farajii Muhammed. Thank you so much for tuning in. Folks, I'm so excited about our next guest who's going to give us some insight about the wonderful world of music. We're going to be checking in with Kotic Couture and talk about how that music that they are producing is going to just really reshape and impact the whole music scene from Baltimore all the way to soul. It's just going to be crazy. So we definitely are looking forward to the exhibition of Kotic Couture. But of course, as always, before we start the conversation, we want you to check us out on all social media platforms. You can find us at Motor House Baltimore on Instagram, Motor House Baltimore on Facebook. And if you want to get any of the latest news and information about what's happening here at Motor House, just check out our website at motorhousebaltimore.com. All right, let us now, without further ado, welcome our newest member of our DAP 6.0 cohort, Kotic Couture. Kotic, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. First and foremost, congratulations. Welcome to, on being a part of our digital artist portfolio program.
Thank you. Happy to be a part.
I'm glad. Now you got a lot of energy. I feel it. Like you're trying to stay cool and humble.
I'm a little wild.
But first, you got to tell me the name.
Yes.
How did you come up with the name of Kotic Couture?
So I always loved fashion.
Gotcha.
I just always loved fashion. I was always into fashion. So that's where couture came from. And Kotic, I used to just have freestyle battles on the way home from school, like on the bus. Because I grew up in the country, like I grew up on the Eastern Shore. So it was like me and one other black kid who rode the bus. So we was the only ones rapping on there, of course. So everybody was like, oh, culture in front of us. So we used to do like these freestyle battles. And one day I just said like, I'm chaotic. And it was like, I'm old, so like MySpace was big at the time.
Right.
So it was like my MySpace name. But I didn't like the way that Kotic was spelled, and I didn't know how to really spell it correctly at the time. So I just changed the spelling. Because I do what I want. So that's how it came about. It just stuck.
You're like, I can't do the CHA.
Yeah, I'm like, it's too much.
I'ma
change it.
Hell with that.
Do what I want. Still do what I want, but it's definitely where it started.
Now, how old were you when you made that decision?
I was like 14, 15 maybe.
Okay.
Like 13, 14, 15. I don't know, how old are you in 8th grade?
Yeah, I think
around that age.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Whatever the
it
little
depends.
kids is.
It depends on the
I was
grade
in the right
instruction
class.
nowadays.
Yeah, I was in the right class. So whatever age that is.
All right. So wait a minute. You were doing rap battles.
Yeah. They weren't very good.
They weren't good. Did you win? You didn't win any of them?
No, I won, but they weren't very good. Like looking at the level that I'm at now, I was like, what was we talking about at like 13, 14? But
yeah, what were we talking about?
I don't remember. I just know I was telling these people I was chaotic. So it must have been something that I needed to let them know.
Like I'm a real proud.
Yeah, like I need y'all to know. But yeah, I don't know what we were talking about, but we would do this literally like every day on the bus ride home from school.
Just kind of passing the time.
Yeah.
How did white people respond to you?
They were so intrigued, and we sat all the way at the back of the bus.
Of course, that's where.
We fought all them years to get out the back, just to want to sit in the back of the bus.
You do it. I think every school age student sits at the back of the bus because it's going down at the back.
Yeah, and you can talk about whatever because ain't nobody around. The bus driver can't hear, but the bus driver would hear us because when we would say things and the kids would just get wild, the bus driver would be like, y'all need to stop. So I think it only lasted a couple of months before they told us that we couldn't do whatever it was that we were doing anymore. But yeah, it was fun while it lasted.
That was funny.
Yeah.
So hip hop brought you into the music, or was there another form of music?
I grew up liking everything. I was a kid of the pop and pop rock era. My mother loves TLC, so Left Eye and Missy Elliott are the reason I started rapping.
Gotcha.
So it's a mix of the Jill Scott, TLC, my dad loved Michael Jackson, but also just these off the beat indie bands.
Yeah.
And then I grew up listening to like MIA and Santi Gold and like Panic at the Disco and club music. So it was a melting pot.
I'm about to say, it's like a
everything.
mishmash of
Yeah.
sounds and styles.
Definitely a melting pot, which is perfect for like where I'm at now because I just see so many different people like at my shows.
Right. So we use the broad term to describe your artistry as performing artist, performing musician. How would you define yourself?
Am I allowed to cuss?
You can cuss a little.
Okay, so
It's the Motor House.
My whole encompassing.
We don't give up.
You can cuss a little bit. My whole thing is, I just have encompassed that. I just say I am the most lit bitch. Like, it don't matter what I'm doing, I'm the most lit. When it's MCing, it's DJing, it's rapping. I'm the most lit. I bring the energy. I look at myself as a rapper first, definitely.
Okay.
But I bring the energy to everything.
To everything.
Yeah.
So you said MCing, when you rapping, and you DJing.
Yeah.
So you nice on the wheels of steel.
Yeah, I'm everywhere. I do everything, and I do everything well.
Got a little Kanye.
I do everything well. Yeah. I was DJing a lot because there were no performance venues where I grew up.
Right.
So I started DJing. I DJed like my senior prom. I DJed.
Wait a minute. Did you DJ your own senior prom?
Yeah, I DJ because my high school had a radio station. So like the radio station would DJ a lot of things, but my senior class specifically wanted me to DJ. So I DJed my senior prom.
First and foremost, little chaotic. Gotta tell me.
Okay.
Was that shit lit?
Oh yes, definitely. And we in the country, so we had prom in a tent. Like we was in a tent in the grass of our school, just like going ham. You
just
couldn't
going
tell us
off.
nothing. Yeah, you couldn't tell us nothing. We was having fun.
Wow.
So yeah, I DJed my senior prom. I used to DJ like the kids' 8th grade dances. I did 2 of my teachers' weddings. So yeah, I was everywhere. And then when I moved to Baltimore, I stopped DJing.
Why?
Because I wanted people to know me for doing music first.
Gotcha.
So I really focused on just performing, and then being around True Natured and her being an amazing DJ, I was like, okay, I think I want to get back into this. So I got a controller and I got back into it. And then especially during COVID, when people wanted at-home performances, it's not the same vibe. Like I base a lot of my performance off energy.
Yeah.
So it's like I love the crowd. Like I need the crowd. So when people were booking me for things, I was just doing DJ sets, which is now kind of dribbled over because my album is coming out next year.
Oh snap!
So I haven't been doing too
We got
much.
an exclusive right now.
So I've been DJing a lot just because it's like I don't want to give the same performances that I've been giving for like the past year and a half. Right. But also I don't want to give away the new stuff yet. So
the
I've
new
been
album,
kind of like
is it a mixture of rapping and your producing DJ skills?
Yeah, so I produced like 3 or 4 songs on the project.
Gotcha.
I'm really excited. It is very much me, but it's me that people haven't heard before. As far as like sonically, it's a lot of beats that I've never rapped on before. I've never done like anything on, and it's all Baltimore-based producers, or people who were based in Baltimore at one time. So it's like, it's a home project, and I'm really excited.
You have a name for it?
I do, but you have to stick around. I'm gonna drop the album cover and the name at the end of the month, so you have to follow me on Instagram to see that. It's a little bit of a secret. I'll tell y'all off camera. I'll show you the album cover too. Just since I'm putting you through it, like I'll give y'all the exclusive.
Okay, all right.
But everybody watching has to wait.
Right.
Everybody
that's
watching.
What I was waiting for. All right, that's awesome. So when you do music, when you're rapping, what's generally the style or the type of content?
I'm a chameleon, you know. You have certain. This is no shade. You have certain rappers who like, when you hear them, you know it's them because of their cadence or their delivery. I think that I can say for myself, you can hear me on multiple different records, and the cadence, the flow, everything switches.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I grew up. My favorites were like Wayne and Nicki, and like I said, Missy and Left Eye, and they switched on everything that they did. So I think it's really, I'm a chameleon. Like I blend to whatever it is that I'm working on.
Yeah.
So you never know what you're gonna get from me.
So talk to us a little bit about what's behind the music in terms of your inspiration. Who or what inspires you to do the music?
When I first started, I always used to say my inspiration came from being uninspired because I was just in a small town, and my inspiration was wanting to get out. Like I was like, I have to get out of here. And then once I got here and I moved to Baltimore and I found the community, I think now more of my base is just self-expression and unapologetically like being yourself. And you know, you have those party moments, you have those deep, like thoughtful moments, but it's very much inspired by life. A lot of my music is very insightful unto who I am. And I'm very like, I'm an inward thinker, like I'm always in my head.
Yeah.
So I put that into my music a lot.
Okay.
So it's
you
very
give us
personal.
something to think about, then something to dance to.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I like how you just said how, you know, you have these different elements of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we see artists now, it's like, you know, we can clearly identify, okay, this is the club song.
Mm-hmm.
This is the street song.
Right.
This is the, you know, I'm with somebody's song.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so it becomes really, and I love hip hop music. You know, I'm a Lupe fan. I'm a Jay, Nas, all of them guys. You know, I'm starting to listen to Rick Ross more.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. Just when he said, "Oh," you know, just something about it. You know, what I mean, he got this kind of like mafia flow or whatever. But you know, it's like there still has to be something there. Because in my growth and development, I'm not selling drugs.
Right.
Certainly not killing nobody.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm in a whole different mental space.
I think a lot of times hip hop falls, and I talk about this a lot, hip hop falls into the one genre of music a lot of times that people don't talk about subgenres. So they're like, oh, it's hip hop, and they want hip hop to be like the same thing. To me, I feel like there's rap and there's hip hop. Like you have rap, you have lyricists, you have people who care about the craft, and then hip hop is ever evolving because it is pop culture. So it is what's moving at the moment. Because hip hop, when Kanye and 50 and Ja Rule were big, is different than hip hop now, where we're in like this drill trap era.
Yeah.
So that's forever moving, forever evolving. That is very much like for the culture. But at the end of the day, like I'm a rapper. I care about like lyricism. I care about content.
Yeah.
I'm an artist. That is always going to be my focus. So they don't have to play my music on the radio. That's fine. But if you put me in any avenue or any venue, I'm going to have relatability to people around me because I make real art. So it just depends on where you want to fall in there. Just depends.
I'm feeling that. I feel that. Real talk. There's a difference between hip hop and rap.
And I think a lot of times we forget that.
Yeah, I mean, because the artists that I personally like to listen to, and I love Imagine Dragons. I love, you know, that genre of music as well. I listen to that more than I probably listen to hip hop now because it's inspirational.
Right.
But I think I would agree with you that the art form has certainly changed.
Definitely.
And as an artist who is working in that space, talk to us a little bit about. And this is something that is like near and dear to me, that artists should have a certain level of social consciousness and responsibility, because, you know, as much as you put out those messages have energy. You know what I mean? Somebody is taking in that message and they're trying to personify that message.
Right.
Talk to us a little bit about that. Like what's your take on, you know, artists being socially conscious and responsible? Do you feel like that should be an expectation that we should have?
Everybody who knows me is going to be so shook by this answer because I used to be the, yes, it is everybody's responsibility type person. But one thing that I realized specifically during COVID and like with George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, you have to be a specific type of person to deliver these messages. Because what happens is when that becomes popular and you have people who are just making songs and putting people's names in songs so that like there's songs made about like Breonna Taylor or like George Floyd, but then it becomes a bubble of just the popularity of those people's names. And it kind of takes away the humanity and the human aspect of the things that are going on. So I don't think that consciousness is something that needs to be like popularized, and it's not something that everybody needs to do. I think it needs to be really authentic to the person who's delivering it, because if you have somebody who has really no idea what's going on in these communities and they're attempting to be conscious, you're then spreading a message that you don't know anything about. And then when people try to like tap in deeper about it, you don't really know what's going on. So I think they should leave that to the people who are really in tune with that, so they can spread the message and do the work. But I think we saw it a lot when everybody was in the house. You saw a lot of artists. You ain't hear nothing from Migos during the pandemic. Like, a lot of artists took breaks because it's like, we make club records, and that's no shade, but like, we make club records. We make like records for a specific demographic, and everybody's in the house, so they can't be there. So you saw more of like I guess people who are like really in, like Jasmine Sullivan coming out more, her coming out more, like people who just kind of have like that music that sits with you and makes you think and like creates an ambiance. Like, you had more of that because people were at home and that was the life that they were dealing with. So I don't think it's everybody's responsibility to make like conscious rap. Because also when people are making conscious rap, it's coming from their perspective. Because you can call T.I. and J. Cole conscious rappers, but all through their songs they're calling women bitches and everything else. But they're talking about the plight of black men and what black men need to do to progress and everything. So it's like, it depends on the message that you're trying to deliver. I just think it needs to be authentic to people, because to them that can be their soapbox that they want to stand on, but that ain't for everybody.
Can I just give you a round of applause for that answer? No, real talk.
I'm sorry, I tried off on that.
No. And here's why I appreciate that answer, is because more and more I'm realizing that. You know what I mean? As I'm working in different spaces around various artists, I'm realizing that, you know what? You're not the one to be delivering. You shouldn't be delivering.
Yeah, you should leave that alone.
You should leave that. This is out of your lane, bro.
It's out of your jurisdiction.
You know? like it's cool. It's. I see what you're trying to do, but bring a rapper on that know what the hell you talking. You know what he's talking about. So I appreciate that answer, because I think that it does, for those who aren't attuned to listening to that, and you hearing an artist who throws Breonna Taylor's name in there, it's like it's doing more harm than good.
Yeah, it definitely diminishes, and it just popularizes like something that doesn't need to be popularized. But I guess she is someone whose name should be like immortalized. It shouldn't be done in the sense of, we're gonna make this a trend right now, because what happens with trends is that they fall off. Like, it's more important to do the work and do the education, and instead of maybe trying to just ride that wave to be cool, talk about different policies that need to be changed, so things like this don't happen in the future. There's different ways to do that.
Great point. I want to switch gears. Let's talk about your interest in doing this work, because you've been in a lot of spaces. You've been doing this for years. What brought you to Motor House to be a part of our digital artist portfolio?
I think, although there are, especially like with programming and everything, there are a lot of black people in Motor House. I think for me to be around the city, it's always important for like black people and like black queer people, people who share different intersections of identity, to be in spaces. So to come in here and be able to just like cross paths with different people who I may know or have like worked with in some capacity, but like get to know them more in depth and know what they do more. And you just get to really network with each other. And then you can grow in that way, but then also it gives me the tools to bring other people in to say like, this is a good opportunity for you as well. So it's given me the ability to help other people who may reach out to me and ask like, how can I grow? How can I do better? How can I learn these things? And also is me in here to let programming and Motor House know like, these are other people that you could be watching that do great things. Because although we are a very small city, we're very like underground. And with the thing of being very underground is like the communication or like networking abilities might not always be there. So I'm just always trying to get my foot in the door at different places to just like help everybody around me grow that I want to see win.
So what can people, and I appreciate that, what can people expect in your exhibition?
You're definitely gonna feel something. It might be anger, you might be annoyed, you might not feel nothing, but that's a feeling too. You know, it's just empty. But you can definitely expect to feel. I hope it opens people's eyes to different type of artistry.
Yeah.
I think especially, again, popularized now when people hear queer artists or queer hip hop, they think of one thing, and you know, we're not monolithic as people, not as black people, not as queer people. Like, there are so many different stories and variations of identity. So I really just hope to open people's eyes to talent in the city.
That's awesome. And what would you say, Chaotic, is what would you want your greatest impact to be with your artistry, your music, and just being where you are right now in this space?
I always have said I just want to inspire people, and I've done that. So I want to continue doing that.
That's awesome.
I just want to continue to inspire people and let people know who have either some of the same or all of the same identities that I have.
Yeah.
Let them know that you can do these things. And sometimes seeing someone who's tangible just gives you that push that you need to really like go and do it.
That's
so I just
awesome.
hope to keep inspiring.
That's awesome. All right, Chaotic. This was awesome. I really enjoyed this conversation.
I love to talk.
No, I appreciate you. How can folks find you on social media?
You can follow me on everything: TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Everything is Kotic Couture. You'll see it below. But just in case you're listening, you like washing dishes or something, you can't pause. It's KOTIC COUTURE, and that's on everything.
Kotic Couture.
Yeah.
No hyphens, no blanks.
Hyphens. You know, it's other people with more money that have hyphens before I could, you know, trademark things.
Right.
So we working with what we got.
That's awesome. Kotic Couture, thank you so much. And again, welcome to our Digital Artist Portfolio Program. And folks, make sure y'all check out Kotic's exhibition. And most importantly, follow Kotic on all social media platforms, all right? Thank you so much for tuning in to our Motor House Artist Talk. I'm Farajii Muhammed. Talk to you later. Peace.